What a great location to celebrate the commissioning of this magnificent ship. Philadelphia is indeed an important place in the history of the United States. I am proud to be here today from another place of historical significance, the city of Bath, Maine, where for generations the men and women of Bath Iron Works have built fine ships for the United States Navy, earning the well-deserved accolade, "Bath built is best built." It seems only a short time ago that Lorette Cook and her fine family were in Bath to christen DDG 75. It was an emotional day, and we were all moved as we reflected on the heroism exemplified by Colonel Donald Cook. All of us at Bath Iron Works extend congratulations to Commander McCarthy, his officers, and the crew of Donald Cook, and wish them every success in the missions that lie ahead.
As the program manager and program executive officer, it is my privilege and pleasure to lead a government industry team together. As Mr. Cameron indicated, Bath Iron Works builds the ship, but there are 80+ different programs that come together to make a man of war. It has been my pleasure to lead that team, to be a member of that team, and I regret that I am departing because of the professionalism they have demonstrated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to look at this crew for a moment. They don't come here by accident. They come from throughout our great United States. We need the very best and brightest people that we can lay our hands on to join this profession. I leave this profession after 36+ years. That's almost 2 full careers. I wouldn't change a day of it. I'm proud of it. I know that the mission that our Navy does for you, the American people, and for the world is vitally important.
It is a great honor to be here in Philadelphia, the birthplace of our nation, and the perfect setting to welcome USS Donald Cook to the vanguard of the United States Atlantic Fleet. This guided missile destroyer is truly an awesome sight. 9,000 tons of warship, the most advanced electronic and sensor systems, the full array of armament that allows her to dominate the sea while projecting naval power several hundred miles inland. But this wondrous technology is only part of the story. Accomplishing the vital mission of protecting America and safeguarding our worldwide interests requires the highest caliber young people our nation has to offer. Over 2 centuries ago, Captain John Paul Jones called upon the young, the brave, the strong, and the free to join him on the high seas. We are very fortunate that his words remain alive and well in modern America, as proven by the remarkable men and women who stand before us as the commissioning crew and plank owners of USS Donald Cook. They have worked tirelessly to make their ship and themselves ready, not only for this time-honored ceremony, but more importantly, for the challenges that await them as they sail the world's oceans. Commander McCarthy, from this day forward, you will be known as Captain, the most revered title in the Naval Service. My compliments to you, Captain, and to your crew. In appearance and performance, you are all shining examples of what makes our armed forces and our Navy the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a great and historic day for our Navy, our Marine Corps, and for all Americans. Today we have ample reason to be proud. Today, USS Donald Cook is ready for sea. I will now place Donald Cook in commission. As authorized by the Secretary of the Navy and for the President of the United States, I hereby place United States ship Donald Cook in commission. May God bless and guide this warship and all who sail in her.
Executive Officer, hoist the colors in the commissioning pennant.
Aye, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the mast as we hoist the colors and the commissioning pennant. The ensign that we raised today is the same ensign that was presented to Lorette on the occasion of Colonel Cook's funeral. Signalman First Class Hunt, hoist the colors and the commissioning pennant.
Aye, sir.
Captain, the colors have been hoisted and the commissioning pennant is at the main truck.
Very well. Admiral Pilling, United States ship Donald Cook is in commission and I've assumed command, sir.
Very well.
I will now read my orders. From Chief of Naval Personnel to Commander James F. McCarthy, Jr., United States Navy. Subject, Bureau of Personnel Orders number 3526 of 30 December 1996. Upon commissioning of USS Donald Cook, report for duty as Commanding Officer. Signed, Daniel T. Oliver, Vice Admiral, United States Navy, Chief of Naval Operations. Executive Officer, set the first watch.
Aye, sir. Officer of the deck, set the watch.
Aye, aye, sir.
The officer of the deck is the commanding officer's direct representative. While on watch, he is responsible for the safety and smooth operation of the ship and crew. The long glass is the traditional symbol of an officer of the deck's authority in a ship of the line. We are honored to have Donald Cook's sister, Mrs. Irene Coleman, here with us today to pass the long glass to our first officer of the deck, Chief Petty Officer Charles Rockwell of Holton, Maine.
Now said the normal import watch. On deck, Section 1.
Sir, the watch is set.
Very well. Captain, the watch is set.
Very well. It is now my pleasure to introduce our sponsor, Mrs. Lorette Cook.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, officer and crew. We are here today to commission this magnificent ship and to honor the memory of my late husband, Donald Cook. Many of you know the story of Donald's heroism in the line of duty and his selfless sacrifice that cost him his life. I'd like to take a moment now to share with you a little about the man I married. Don was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. He attended Xavier High School and then went to St. Michael's in Vermont. We met in the winter of '56. Shortly after we married, he joined the Marine Corps. Because of his training, Don felt compelled to go to Vietnam. Shortly after arriving, he volunteered to go on a dangerous rescue mission. A helicopter had been shot down. Don went with a group of Vietnamese Marines to aid the crew. The rescue party was ambushed and Don was shot and captured. He became a prisoner of war on New Year's Eve in 1964. My family and I waited until the end of the war in 1972 to learn of Don's fate. The day POWs were released, we learned that Don had died several years before. One of the hardest days in my children's lives was the day we watched the released POWs arriving at Andrews Air Force Base. My children watched, hopefully, for the image of their dad to come off the plane, but of course he never did. Now, almost 34 years after I last saw Don, we came together to honor this father, husband, son, brother, and Marine who gave his life so that others would not have to. I'd like to now quote Don from a letter he wrote to me, smuggled out of the camp by Charlie Kraft. If I can sum up my thoughts, I would like to leave this with you, Chris, Karen, Tori, and Tom, especially them. Do what is right, no matter what the personal costs. Love of God and man above all else. Don't judge yourself by others, but others by yourself. Life to me is so simple. There is life, death, and eternity. If we can't save our souls, what good is anything? This guides all my action. To me, this sums up Don Cook. To the commander and the crew of the U.S. Donald Cook, remember the man behind this great ship. As your motto states, have faith without fear. Godspeed. Officers and crew of the Donald Cook, man our ship and bring it alive.
Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, the crew of USS Donald Cook salutes you. We are proud to serve in your great Navy. Sir, the ship is manned and ready.
We're gathered here today in order to recognize the addition of another ship into our nation's defense armada. Donald Cook's acceptance into our Navy and the awesome technology she represents help sustain the backbone of our Navy's fighting force and is one of the more salient examples of American resolve in our own defense. There is, however, an additional objective to this gathering, and it is this second purpose that I believe is the more significant. We're gathered here to honor Colonel Donald Cook, who made the ultimate sacrifice that others might continue to enjoy these rights and freedoms we hold dear. In keeping with our need to remember our cherished heroes and honored dead, let me present USS Donald Cook and her crew to you today. As has been stated several times already, Donald Cook brings to the fleet all the marvels of modern technology. She represents the best of American ingenuity, perseverance, and determination. It is our collective confidence of purpose and resolute determination that demand the level of technical prowess resident in the 9,000 tons of American fighting steel you see before you on this pier. Our Navy is comprised of 400,000 men and women who represent the finest this nation has to offer. The group assembled in front of you today is, in my estimation, the 300 best of those elite Americans. They're smarter, they're more dedicated, and they're harder working than we have a right to deserve, and it's their contribution, as well as the sacrifices that are made by their families, that make our Navy ultimately invincible. One of the most significant benefits bestowed upon a commanding officer of a commissioned naval vessel is the authority to meritoriously advance a limited number of crew members who have displayed a level of dedication, commitment, and capability deserving special recognition outside the normal advancement process. In an effort to recognize the extraordinary effort put forth by this crew in breathing life into what would otherwise just be 9,000 tons of metal, glass, and plastic, I'd like to ask my squadron commander, Commodore Mike Miller, to assist me in meritoriously advancing the following 4 crew members. Gas Turbine Specialist Mechanical First Class Surface Warfare Leonard R. Smith, Seneca Falls, New York. Gas Turbine Specialist Second Class Johannes J. Gonzalez Casino of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Interior Communications Electrician Second Class Tracy L. Williams of DeSoto, Wisconsin. Mess Specialist Third Class Ryan D. Schaefer of Alliance, Ohio. Please join me in congratulating these newly advanced petty officers. These are the crew members of Donald Cook who understand the continued need to pay any price or bear any burden in maintaining the tenets of freedom and democracy throughout the world. Thank you. May God bless you and USS Donald Cook as she sails the world's oceans, carrying your sons and daughters in harm's way. Executive Officer, 3 cheers for the City of Philadelphia and our commissioning committee.
Aye, sir. Ship's Company, out 10. Hut. Ship's Company, 3 cheers for the City of Philadelphia and our commissioning committee. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
We are